Well, I'm super excited to meet somebody brand new that I have never met before, which is one of the perks of this type of position here. But it's a little intimidating. You have a big title that we're looking at and talking about today. So let me welcome Tracy Johnson.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you here. So I did, a little bit of scouting out on your Facebook page, which I think is like the new normal now to qualify people, right?
Yeah.
So I got to learn a little bit about you, but tell me about yourself, where you're from, what have you been working on?
So I am from Lexington, Minnesota, which is north suburbs of Minneapolis, typically. Yeah. My biggest right now is the competition for Miss Health and Fitness 2020.
Wow.
With my journey, my weight loss journey, I figured this competition, never competed before. Saw it on Facebook, and I was like, I looked into it. I'm like, hey, I'm 48 years old. Why not?
Yeah.
The journey I've been on is been 22 years at this point.
Wow.
Lost over 200 pounds naturally.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So, unfortunately, it was a tragedy that my sister-in-law passed away, and she had breast cancer, and she couldn't save her life. So I knew I could to live for my kids.
Yeah.
So that's where my journey started.
Where were you at before that? I mean, had you contemplated I need to do something different, or I should?
After my daughter was born, she was my fourth, I could then focus a little bit more on myself.
Yeah. That's always hard.
Yeah. Kids running around. So I started looking at my health. I mean, I was at 355 pounds. And I could still move with my kids, but again, it's your quality of life is a little bit different at that weight. Mm-hmm. So I went in and started doing water aerobics. I was intimidated getting into the gym, as most people are. And that's what's nice now, because I am an operations manager for a fitness center.
Oh, fantastic.
So I can encourage people in that atmosphere where I did end up taking the step to get into the gym. Knowing, you have to start somewhere.
Right.
So you just don't really let anybody, bring you down. Just you go in and focus on you. So that's kind
of what did it take for you to go take that step, to walk in there, to sign up for something? You laugh, but it is one of the hardest parts, right?
It is. I needed more than just, water.
Yeah.
So weights and learning a little bit more on nutrition. And so I went in, Bally's was the very first gym I went into. That's dating me huge because they no longer around. LA Fitness actually bought them all out. And I did that. So I got into classes. I started out doing cardio on my own, figuring I'm just going to do this myself. And then I started watching the group fitness classes, got into that, and an instructor who I've been friends with now for 20 years. She's known my journey. And just kind of did her classes. She was very uplifting, step classes. Cardio kickboxing was probably my most favorite class, And then I just kind of went from there.
I love that. I used to teach group fitness. This is a total side note. But I love the impact that it makes, because the atmosphere that you create in those classes is so important, which can be intimidating to some people. But as soon as you feel, you pull them in, that can be life-changing. But I think the big thing, too, is that people don't have to start with a trainer. You don't have to start with a nutritionist. You don't have to start knowing all these things. You could just walk. You could just start going into the water or whatever. That's a huge thing for people, I think.
Yeah. And I did, when I first got with Bally's, I did get 6 personal training sessions. That was part of my membership.
Right.
I did do that, and I hated the trainer because I never felt that pain in my life, but, you hear no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And now when I am in pain, it's a great thing.
Right.
People don't understand that, but you're doing something, and it's going to change your body and stuff like that as well.
Because you're not going to be getting anywhere by being comfortable, right?
No, you have to get out of your comfort zone, and that's kind of something that I let my members know now. And, with me being an operations manager, it's just great because I can talk to members. They don't know my story until I actually tell them.
Sure.
And then they kind of take a step back. It's like, I don't wake up looking like this every single day. You know,
Right.
I'm in the gym at least 5-6 days a week,
Yeah.
2.5 hours at a time. It's a lot of hard work and dedication that you have to do.
Well, and I say Rome wasn't built in a day. And I think that it's so applicable to health and fitness journeys because, again, people see the beginning and the end, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes just the end and they assume that it's easy. They assume that it just happened overnight or that it's always been that way. But it takes as much work as it takes to get into that poor health. It takes work to get out of it, too.
Correct.
But I think people assume that you can get out quicker than you got in.
Right. And everybody wants the quick fix. And gastric bypass, that's one thing that I make sure I let people know that I did not have done. I mean, mine was all natural weight loss, which is the most hard. It's more of a lifestyle change than it is a physical change.
Right.
When I first started working part-time with Lifetime Fitness, I spoke to so many members that had gastric bypass. And unfortunately, now they were having to go to the gym and do it the natural way because they ended up gaining their weight plus because you can't have that surgery done again.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy. So what did your journey look like as you got started? You know, I know you talked a little bit about your sister being the turning point. So you started a little bit before then thinking, I should probably get going on something.
Right.
And then all of a sudden things changed. Like, how did that drive you? What did that look like? What did that immediate impact have?
My kids, you know, my daughter my sister-in-law passed away 24 days before her 3rd birthday.
Wow.
And exactly 2 months before her youngest's 3rd birthday. So we still had babies. And it was my kids' forefront all the way.
Yeah.
And now they're
super
adults.
Powerful, you know, motivator. And it doesn't make it any easier to do the work, right?
Right.
Like, what did that work look like for you when you were, you know, getting going? Like, where were your stumbling blocks? Like, what was the hardest for you to change?
Just taking the weight off. I mean, knowing that I was more activity. And they say it's 80% nutrition, 20% of your workouts. And I was the complete opposite. So I really wasn't feeding. So it took me a little bit longer to see some of those results. Again, I wasn't reaching out to anybody. I was doing this on my own. And I just kind of tweaked different things. And then I would ask questions, and then I would have different things done when I worked for the fitness company because I could do that. I did that for 4 years. But yeah, and then going through my divorce, I just looked at fitness as being my mental health.
Therapy?
Yes, very much
right.
therapy, you know. And that's one thing people don't understand either is health and fitness is not just physical transformation of your body. It's your mind and your soul as well.
Right.
And so that's kind of like my biggest when I talk to people is, you know, your mind is number one, honestly. And that's kind of, you get your mindset. Once your mindset is where you need to be, then you just keep rolling with it.
How do you help people get to that point? Because that's a mindset is a very like vague term, you know, it's like, where do you help encourage them or what do you help them see or how did you get your mindset, you know, so strong? Because it's kind of like a muscle, right? Like you need to condition it. It needs to be repetitive. It needs to grow, you know, by learning or whatever. There's a lot of steps to it. Like, how would you communicate that to someone else to help them build that?
You know, get started. Once you start seeing results, though, it becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
Like for me,
What else can I do?
yeah, it's like, oh, okay, now this is working. And so you have to see it physically, I mean, visually. And, you know, and that's one thing I encourage, you know, people. I do let them know, I know it's going to be discouraging. Never give up. That's probably the biggest 3 words I ever tell people is never give up because I didn't do this. I mean, I let people know this is 22 years of my life that I've been working on. And
22 years. Right?
Yeah.
Not months, not days.
Yeah.
That's
And
a big difference.
yeah, I'm 48 years old and I'm in the best health and shape that I've been in my entire life.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and that's another thing that I can, you know, kind of reach out to people. And another reason why I did the Miss Health and Fitness 2020, it's not just for me, it's for me to reach out to other people. Like you can do this. There's again, their mindset is, I can't. It's, you know, we can't do a lot of things, but just get on the right track. I can help you. I always tell people, you know, if you need an ear, reach out to me. You know,
Right.
I've been in there in your shoes, and
Exactly in
I
your
can
shoes.
tell you how to get out.
I think the interesting word about the I can't thing is the I won't, because that's actually the comparison, right? Like,
Right.
can't, there's probably like, you know, in most situations, like 2% of that is like, you actually cannot do that. But won't is a big one.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen amazing transformations come out of just people that continue to show up every day, you know, and not even every day, but they show up for themselves. They make that decision every single day. I mean, how often do you feel like going to the gym? Like, how often did you feel like I would rather have a burger or fries? You know, you go through those, right? Daily? Like, you have struggles.
Yep.
What is it like to go through those daily struggles?
Well, for me, if I don't have my gym bag in my car and I make it home, there's chances are I'm not making it out the door.
True.
So always being prepared, you know, knowing that you are going to do this and just stick with it.
Right.
Yes, there's been times where I'm like, yep, I'm going to go to the gym, and then I don't get there, and you know, I start doing other things, and then at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I didn't get to the gym, and now I start feeling bad that I didn't get to the gym. Again, it's, I think, more mental health at that point for me. You know, and you're your worst critic. I mean,
Oh, of course.
people, you're going to look at yourself and you see yourself every day. So that's another thing I encourage people to is, you know, complimenting them on their transformation, because honestly, they're only seeing one thing, and they're seeing the way beforehand,
Right.
and they're not seeing their physical transformation now.
Yeah.
And I did that for a long time, you know, and then I see it now, and you know, again, then it's that addiction. It's like, okay, I need to get into the gym. This is what it's doing for me.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think pictures are, I always tell, I'm a data person. So I'm like, take the pictures, take the measurements.
Yeah.
Guarantee you, like, those days that you are like, this is not working, I'm not seeing anything. You can go back to that data that's right in front of you and say, okay, this proves that this is working. This proves that I'm moving forward, you know, so you're not lost. Because that is the hard part, is that data. You're like, people that weigh themselves every day, for example. I'm like, okay, you know, when you see your kids, you know, and then your relatives come over and they haven't seen them for a year and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so big. You're like, really? I mean, I see them every day, right? Like,
Right.
you don't see how people change on a day-to-day basis, but
Right.
those bigger things are huge.
yeah, and people think, you know, oh, I'm always taking pictures of myself. Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Because when
and you don't have to
put
show
them-
everyone, but
No.
you should be taking them. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, because you're never going to get that back. And that's, you know, my daughter has found a lot of what I call my fat pictures. You know, I look at them, I'm not proud of them, but to do a side-by-side comparison of where I was to where I am, because people don't, they don't believe. They don't believe it. And I got, you know, I actually was lucky because, you know, my face was large, and what people would say, you know, I'd lose a lot of weight if I had hanging skin in my neck, and I never did. I really had really good elasticity in that. So that's why, you know, a lot of people are like, no, we can't see it. And it's like,
Right.
well, here we go. Yeah.
Did you add in any other things? I mean, like, so supplements, I think, have a bad rap, right? There's like that weight loss diet pill, but there's a lot of good supplements that help your body more naturally, like,
Yes.
do things. Is that part of your nutrition? Talk about that a little bit. Do you?
Yes, I do take a fat burner every single day. I take one in the morning and I take one in the afternoon. You're going to take so many different supplements until you find the one that's going to work for you.
Yeah.
People are going to reach out to you like, I have this supplement, I have that supplement, and not everybody can take those. I mean, people can get great results. Protein, I do have, you know, protein is great. A lot of times I'll just put a scoop of protein in my shaker bottle.
Yep.
Put it with water as soon as I'm done working out, and then, you know, at least get that protein into my muscles in a timely, you know, manner
Right,
per
right.
se. But other than that, I've done the fish oil thing, and so it's my fat burner, my protein shakes is pretty much
Yeah.
what I do for supplements.
Right. There's so many options out there, and you know, and it's hard in a world. I've been in the gyms, I've been in marketing, like, things can get blown up, but it doesn't always work for everyone. Even if it's a stellar product, it doesn't always work for everyone.
Right.
You know, and people have to do the work. Like, those are good accents, right? They help enhance
Yep.
your results, but they won't make them.
Correct.
And I think that's a big difference, in anything that we're doing in life, like there is not a one size fits all, like quick fix. There is always work involved. How did your journey come from, okay, now I'm starting to get the gym, now I've got this addiction now, like at what point did you even consider like doing some sort of physical competition?
This year, actually, in June, everybody has asked me, are you a trainer? No, I'm not a trainer. I mean, I did do construction for 10 and a half years as a union laborer, so I was out in the field.
Okay.
That also helped in my weight loss journey, being on my feet rather than sitting at a desk. But I saw this competition, and like I said, it was more of a mindset of, helping others. And that's kind of honestly what I'm doing this for. It's,
sure.
Yes, there's a great, to be featured on Muscle and Fitness Hers, that's a great added feature. It comes with $20,000 in cash as part of the prize too. And
bonus.
Exactly. Those are just bonuses for me, because if I can, my biggest is inspire to impact people in a positive way. I've had that in the last 5 years. After I left my last relationship, that I needed more positivity in my life, and doing that for others, because I know it's kind of difficult.
What kind of things have you like put out there, like intentionally, to kind of start like building that?
For the competition?
Yeah, for, like as you start to move into that positive, space, and you want to be inspiration for others, like what was your goal with that? I mean, did you just start reaching out to people? Do you, put things out there to connect with people? How do you intentionally like build that?
Yeah, so I have my Facebook page and my Instagram page, and every day I put a post out. And it does have my voting link on it, because we are in the first round of voting right now.
So it's all voted by people then?
Public voting,
okay.
Correct. So all my posts are public posts. Anybody can click on it and support me through this.
Sure.
But I will do some sort of like an uplifting, positive quote. I will kind of put something out there along the line of, giving encouragement to other people. I tend not to use I and me in any of my posts on Facebook, because it's not about me. It's about me helping, people out there. So, and that's, another thing, that when you're more of an I, me, then it's like the spotlight's on you. And I want the spotlight to be on others, that, this is what my journey was or is, and I'm just going to continue helping.
That's awesome.
It's important.
Have you been able to like make a lot of new connections with people that you've never met, that you never would have thought? Like, what does that look like?
So my Facebook following went from 315 to, I think I'm at 1,350.
Cool.
The ones that I'm reaching out to are people that inspire me, that have the same mindset, whether it's a positive mindset, fitness mindset, health mindset, something along that understands kind of like the journey and path that I'm on and I've been on. Right. There's a lot of people that I follow that's competitors, that are stage competitors. That's not one thing that I strive to do, is to, get my body to go on stage. Mm-hmm. I don't feel I need that. I, applaud people that do that, because that is a tough. Mm-hmm. That's even, you're more disciplined in your workouts and your activities to get that
picking
part.
At Facebook was that. Like, that's a totally different game for sure.
Right.
What kind of resistance have you met in this journey? I mean, there's the physical, the mental, the emotional. Like, as you go through these things, what kind of resistance have you come across?
I've had people tell me I'm fake. That they don't believe that, people can be that way. The thing is,
what way?
Just positive,
sure.
Okay. And obviously my side-by-side transformation for my physical transformation is one thing. But, to vocalize, a mental transformation and to help others. And, like they say, you have your haters out there, you just cannot let them get you down. And that's another big thing that I bring out to people. I had a friend that committed suicide a year ago. And again, you don't know what's mentally going on. You can try to be there as best as you can. But when they get into that mindset, then, and it was, a sad thing,
It's deeply rooted.
Yes, it is. And so just trying to just keep people that are negative, our world is so negative as it is. We just don't need added to it. So
I always find that those, people are the ones that, are needing to hear it. You know what I mean? Because they're uncomfortable with it because that's what they see in themselves as a problem. Mm-hmm. I had a quote or someone that had said something of like, I wish I had your positivity. And, I simply wrote back that I do this for my own mental state sometimes. Like, I hope that it benefits others, but like by putting that out there doesn't mean that I am always positive, that I'm always like, super chipper. Some of those dark days are what produce some of those quotes that I put out because I'm like, I need to hear this. Someone else might need to hear it,
Right.
So I think perception is really interesting. But the more positive things that go out there, the more opportunity there is to challenge people's thoughts, to look at it differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't mean you have to feel positive.
Yeah.
But, I do think there's a lot of choice in that too.
And that's kind of why I went the route to inspire and impact lives in a positive way, is because when I was going through my struggles, I didn't have anybody, out there helping me. And I just know if I can reach one person every day, that just brings me up, know. And I don't have to hear who I'm helping. Sometimes people are like that, like they have to hear thank you. And it's like, I don't. If, people will message me on some of my posts that will say, thank you, I needed to hear that today. And how can you stay so positive when they've known the struggles that I've gone through? And you just do a day to day. Once it's in your lifestyle, you don't think of why you do things. I just do it.
Well, it's an interesting point that you bring up because it's conditioning, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a physical conditioning, but it works the same way. Mm-hmm. I mean, the repetition will breed that, habitual, whatever it is that you're doing. So I think it's interesting to put those quotes out there every day. I mean, to work out every day, like those things just become habit after a while. They become non-negotiable. So how long do you think it took you to get from, okay, I have to do this today to like, I need to do this or want to do this?
Every day is a different day, for me. I mean, like I said, when I don't go, then it's like I'm down on myself. I just, I'm in the gym 8-9 hours a day watching members, and I'm just like, yeah. I mean, a lot of times they are my motivators. Like, I can't wait to get off work so I can go do that.
Right.
And the thing is, I can do that. It's not I have to
or get to.
And I get to, yeah. Being in the industry, it's like, I don't have to pay for a membership. I get that,
right.
Opportunity every single day. And just being able to be out on the floor, out of uniform, interacting with my members.
I'm one of them.
Yes, now I'm one of them. And you're, that person. You're a different person to your members when I'm not behind the desk in uniform. I'm out on the floor. Again, it's I'm in my workout clothes, so people don't see when I'm wearing my polo and then I'm out on the floor, in my tank top and my workout clothes, and they're like, you're not the same person. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what does the journey look like with this? Tell me again, Miss Health and Fitness 2020. So you decided when?
In June.
In the last year. Okay.
Yeah. Did
you already obviously started working, for it in a way because you have been preparing, but what changed once you made that decision?
It's my big motivator every single day because I am not where I want to be able to be on the cover of Muscle and Fitness, hers. So just it keeps me going. It's my motivator. It's dedication. Again, I put my mind to I want to do this. I have never been like a huge competitor, but I've got that competitive edge,
Sure.
Getting there. So this July 30th is the end of the round 1 voting, which we'll find out who will be in the top 20.
Okay.
Then we'll go in the next round. Miss Health and Fitness the title will be given in October. So it's 3 months of, like I said, your mind is there because everything's done online. I don't know how many votes I get. I do see on a daily basis what place I am. But, there's thousands of women across the U.S. that are actually in this competition. So
that's exciting.
It's not just a statewide.
Right. So what's that going to mean for you? Like, you talk about you're not where you want to be yet. Like, what is that place? Where is that place you're heading to? Or when do you feel like you've made your accomplishment, like finished, what you set out to do?
More tone, getting more toned. I do, obviously, like I tell people, when you lose 200 pounds, your body doesn't go back.
Right.
There's a lot of work involved. So, where I am, it's, again, I just keep working at it on a daily basis. I do more lifting, less cardio. But the cardio, you have to be there to be able to transform into that lean body. Just keep going day to day. And
love that. What did you think when you first set out on this journey? Was there a goal that was like 50 pounds, 100? You probably, no right-minded person would ever say like 200 pounds is their goal, right?
Right.
So did it move? Did it evolve? Did it what else can I do? Like if I got this far, what did it start at and how did you keep moving it?
I did not have a number at all. Mine was just honestly taking the weight off, becoming healthier, mom.
Yeah.
And that's, honestly, that's what my whole goal was, to become healthy for my kids.
What did the journey look like with your kids? Like, how did your kids, watch that and learn from that? And what did that look like for them?
It's, the dedication. And it's funny because they're now in their late 20s. I have 2 kids that are in their 30s. And their friends is probably the biggest. They knew me, I was always mom to them. But some of them would say now I'm hot mom.
That's a title any mom would like. That's perfect.
No, but they've been friends with the same group of friends for a long time. So some of them don't even recognize me. Working in the fitness industry, they would check in. I would say, "Oh, my son Chris," or my son James, and they're like, "Well, how do you know them?"
Like, my son.
Yeah, so it's just funny how I am not the same person than I was.
Yeah.
And it's not just physical, it's even mental and, my
They're
personality.
all interwoven, I think one thing, especially as a young mom, you're just so tired in general, but as it evolves, you keep making new excuses, for your kids, I can't because they have this, or I can't because this, What do you tell a person that is using that as I can't work out because I have kids? Their mom guilt comes in, well, if I take this time to do this, what do you say about that? And how does that mental impact, and physical impact change the relationship that you have with your kids?
It's, sometimes you don't have to go for 2.5 hours in the gym. You don't even have to go in the gym.
Yeah.
Get on a bike, walk around the block. You can incorporate your kids into what you're doing. And
right.
That's, the biggest with me is when I got started. Yeah, I did go into the gym. I did work full time. I did work 2 jobs at times. I just found the time that I needed to do that. And I did it for myself, as, stepping back in some day-to-day things and just say, you know what, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Again, the mindset with my kids, we would go on bike rides and go for walks. And, my daughter, her and I will go side by side. She's 23 and, she'll run and she needs to lose weight and she knows it. And I'm her biggest supporter.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, and her and I will do it together. She'll go to the gym with me and, with this competition too, she's done a lot of my photos and a lot of my videos, just so I don't have my phone in my hand.
Yeah. That's a cool experience to have together,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
And just being able to help her too. It's, it's not easy and they know that. And,
right.
and it's just the family time that we get together.
Yeah, I think that's important to, help people understand that it doesn't have to be that traditional setting in order to work. I've gone on the trampoline with my kids or, I made a whole workout off the swing set. It's the suspension training with the swings.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a little crazy, but it was I had the same struggle where I was I can't find time to go be by myself, without somebody caring for them,
Yeah.
At that point when they were younger, there was no way, but you can make it work. And, your kids aren't even going to understand what 30 minutes of your workout means in their life. That's
Right.
a blink of an eye for
Right.
sure.
And a lot of times for them, they were in school. So it's not, I wasn't taking my time, from them. Now I have a granddaughter, and it's great. I'm still physically active and able to enjoy my time with her and not be, drugged down or, can't move. And
I love that. Like, it impacts multiple generations, doesn't it? That's great. So what kind of like books are you reading, or things that are helping move you along, or, podcasts you listen to besides this one, of course?
And podcasts, I haven't really listened to a lot. I've had people tell me after they've heard my story, well, you should do one, you should do this. Self-help books are the biggest for me. When churches were
Anything
open.
good that you had recently that you would recommend?
I would have to say the biggest, and came from church, is Boundaries.
Oh, that's a great one.
I've read that series. There's 3 books to it. Boundaries in dating, and Boundaries in marriage.
And there's a kids one now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's a great whole concept that everyone should read.
Yeah, and it's Christian based, and that's the thing, is I got it from the church I go to, and that was another thing, is being able to go to church. Like I was actively in church every single week. Just it kind of helps reset your week,
right?
So
well, and to continue to evolve. I mean, as soon as we stop trying to learn, then we stop growing, and that's important. Yeah. I love that. So tell me a little bit about the competition. How can we help you, support you?
Just go on my link, click it. You can vote every day, every 24 hours.
And you have your Facebook page as a personal page?
Yes, that is my personal page. All my competitions are done on public posts, so anybody can click Tracy Leanne on Facebook, and I'm a Classy and Fit 48 on Instagram.
Nice.
So you can get my post, and my link is in my bio on that as well.
Daily inspiration.
Yeah.
What else do you want to share with our listeners about your journey, or how they can push past where their barriers are?
Just keep going. Never give up. I mean, you're gonna hit those barriers if you have a great support system. That's helpful. Again, mine, I didn't have a huge support system. Put your, like the rabbit getting the carrot, put something in that you're going to work towards. A lot of times people would say, goals. I usually set my goals high. Some would say, well, you're not going to make that goal. And I just tell them, watch me.
Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming, and we love this conversation. Best of luck in your next journey. Hopefully we'll get to phase 2.
Yes, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you.